Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips Daily Fantasy Euro 2016 preview for today, the 12th of June. I'm going to be looking at how we can construct a lineup on DraftKings today for daily fantasy games. If you don't know how to play or haven't joined, then I'll put a link in the description for this video to enable you to sign up and start playing with DraftKings today. Varying stakes for whatever you fancy, many games that you can play. We need to construct a roster of a goalkeeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, 2 strikers and 1 utility player. Points are scored like this. I'm going to be offering a little bit of insight at each position, starting off at goalkeeper. I think probably my number 1 choice today is, and I'll try and say it correctly, Volkan Babacan of Turkey for 4,600. Looking at the games today, of the teams that I expect to be under attack more in the games, the Turkish strike me as the most likely to have actually repelled the threat of their opposition. They were solid, if unspectacular, conceding 9 goals in the 10 qualifiers. However, they did start badly in qualification, and they did concede only once in their final 5 qualification games. Babacan is the goalkeeper of choice for the Turks. And in opposition, while the Croats should dominate the midfield because they've got some world-class options there, Mario Mandzukic is up front for them. He's a very good player, but I think he's a level below world-class. And at this level, I'm not sure he's quite good enough to be a sort of banker money for scoring a goal. So I do think that the Turks do have clean sheet possibilities against Croatia today, but I do think they'll create chances. So I think there's plenty of opportunity for saves points to rack up here. The other goalkeeper I'd look at is Wojciech Szczesny of Poland for 5,000. The Polish conceded a goal a game with 10 allowed in the qualifiers. Szczesny's had a solid season on loan at Roma in Italy from Arsenal, and he is the first choice. He has been known on occasion to make errors, but he less so this year in Italy. I don't know if it's pace of the game maybe, because it's a bit slower in Italy than the Premier League, but the Northern Irish look outmatched in this game, and while O'Neill will set them up to be solid defensively, I can't see necessarily a lot of chances being created. So Szczesny I don't think is going to get a lot of opportunity to score points with saves, but I do certainly think a clean sheet is a possibility, and Szczesny is my second choice goalkeeper today. Your other alternative, obviously, is to pay up for Manuel Neuer, who is up there as probably the best goalkeeper in the world. I'm sure De Gea has probably got something to say about that, but I suspect they're going to keep a clean sheet today as well against the Ukraine. But there will be a few opportunities for there will be few opportunities for saves, I imagine, as I expect the Ukrainians will try and counter-attack and soak up pressure for the majority of this game. And I wouldn't go near the Northern Ireland keeper, as I suspect that Poland potentially could cut them apart and score quite a few goals today. In defence, Gökhan Gönül of Turkey for 4,700. Gönül, who's sometimes known as the Turkish Cafu, has spent his career in Turkey, and he's a prototypical fullback who loves to join in out wide on the attack. Now, the Croatia game, along with the game against the Czechs, will certainly be games that the Turks will be looking to get forward and try and win, with the Spanish being the runaway favourites in this group. Gönül is the 3rd most capped player in this squad and offers solid production for us moving forward, and also defensively, he's not rash in the challenge, he doesn't get booked a lot. So I think he's not necessarily going to concede a lot of fouls either. In a team that creates lots of chances but sometimes struggles to convert them, scoring only 14 goals in 10 games in qualification, I think he can get forward and get crosses, and while he's probably not going to get any assist points, I do think Gönül will offer you solid production at his price. Dario Srna of Croatia for 6,100. This is a massive price for a defender, but Srna is easily his country's most experienced player. He's a set-piece specialist who's likely to take the free kicks, although there will be some competition with the attacking midfielders, Modric, Rakitic. I think Srna, because of that midfield, though, will get plenty of space to operate in a team that's blessed with a multitude of options going forward. The Croatians score goals, averaging 2 a game in the qualifiers, more than any other side in their group, and Srna can sometimes offer under-the-radar support to the attacking from deep at the right-back position. Although it's a lot of money, I think he's probably a very solid play for you today. Vyacheslav Shevchuk of Ukraine for 3,700. He's an ever-present in the Ukrainian qualification programme. The Shakhtar left-back plays a disciplined role in a side that is going to set up to be difficult to break down and play on the counter-attack. Against the world champions, they are likely to cede a lot of possession and territory, and he's certainly going to have chances to rack up points in the tackles, as I expect the Germans will be pressuring Ukraine for a large portion of this game. For 3,700, he's a bargain buy play, and will look, as I say, for plenty of tackle points. I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet against the Germans today, but I do think there's certainly opportunity for production for Szewczuk out wide today. My midfielders, I've gone with Kamil Grosicki of Poland for 7,000. He's a winger in the French league for Rennes. He will be the main pipeline feeding the lethal front pairing of Lewandowski and Milik. He is capable of weighing in with goals himself. He scored 3 in 4 pre-tournament warm-up friendlies and got 4 goals in 9 qualification games as well. He's a highly talked about player in the French league, and I think he's really good value at 7,000 today. Another player in sort of that price range who I think is a very solid play is Andre Schürrle of Germany. The former Chelsea man, now at Wolfsburg, has always known how to score goals, and he plays in a 3 behind almost a false 9, if you like, for Germany, because the front four of Schürrle, Kroos, Muller, and to a lesser extent Özil are all interchangeable. Schürrle scored 3 goals in 7 qualifiers. He is an underrated outlet in this team to relieve goal scoring pressure from Thomas Muller, and he did finish the season strongly in the Bundesliga for Wolfsburg, and 6,900 I think is too cheap. Ivan Perisic of Croatia for 6,800. He will play in an advanced midfield role for the Croatians alongside Modric and Rakitic, who, as they are bigger names, if you like, will probably draw a lot of the attention. They'll play behind Mandzukic, the prolific attacking option here. Perisic scored 6 goals in 9 qualifiers. He registered 15 goals, scoring 9 in 37 games for Inter this season. Yeah, he plays at a top level. Turkey did struggle for goals in opposition because of a lack of midfield depth, and I do think the Croats will dominate midfield with so many world-class options, and I think Perisic may well hold the keys to unlocking the Turks today, and I think could have a very, very good game and give us a lot of points for 6,800. And Hakan Kalhanoglu of Turkey for 7,800. The Leverkusen attacking midfielder and set-piece specialist broke into the national team on a more permanent basis in the latter half of qualification. He scored away to the Czechs in qualifications and weighed in with a couple of goals in the warm-up friendlies as well. He can on occasion disappear from games, which is the risk of paying this money for a player, but he does have technique and an eye for the creative, and he has racked up a reasonable amount of assists, and he could turn the game if Turkey are going to get anything from this game today. I think he's going to play a big part in it. As for forwards today, you have to start and pretty much finish with Robert Lewandowski of Poland for 11,200. If ever it was worth spending over 20% of your budget on a player, it's got to be Lewandowski against the Northern Ireland minnows. Lewandowski is the main man for the Poles. The Bayern striker scored 13 times in 10 qualifiers. The Poles finished second behind world champions Germany in their qualification group and scored a somewhat astonishing 33 goals in 10 games in comparison to Germany's 24. They will look to get off to a flyer and boost their goal difference, I think, against the Northern Irish, and their star man scored at least once in each of their final 5 qualifiers. If you don't want to spend that money, his strike partner, Arkadiusz Milik, for 8,600, he looks a good alternative as well. Milik is strongly worth consideration, scoring goals for fun at Ajax this year. He can score with either foot. He's tall, he's a target man with his head as well. He chipped in with 6 goals in 9 games during qualification, and again, they're playing the Northern Irish, and I think they're going to I think they might cut them apart today, to be perfectly honest. And the other striker I'm looking at is Burak Yilmaz of Turkey for 5,800. Yilmaz moved to China mid-season, along with another number of other players around the world. He is the best and most experienced striker that Turkey have. The issue is that Fatih Terim, the Turkish manager, is apparently not keen on the move to China and may favour starting Chen Tosun instead. This does give us an issue with the Turkish game being the last game on the day today, so we will need to check the team sheet, maybe make a late switch, potentially using Lilmatch in the utility spot, as I advised yesterday with Wilshere as well, because that gives you more flexibility to move him out your team. Yilmaz was the Turks' top scorer in qualification. They are a low-scoring team. He only scored 4 times, played 6 games. In my opinion, he's their best outlet and their best chance of scoring a goal today, an area which the Turkish side do struggle. I don't think they can afford to mess about. He's scored 19 goals in 43 caps. He should be the main man up front, and hopefully he will be. That's what I think of today's Daily Fantasy Slate on DraftKings. I will see you tomorrow. Best of luck.